What's up, everybody? Terry Briggs here, and I'm still here at 3XP representing my guy, Justin Wu and Decentral and Michael. And they just had a stage on investing into Web3. And I'm speaking to this amazing gentleman who was on the panel. So listen, man, I want to talk about what's happening into investing with Web3 right now and gaming and all that good stuff. So please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Luke Xie, one of the co-founders and general partner at Press Start Capital. We're a pre-seed focused Web3 venture fund investing in the entire Web3 entertainment stack. So that includes gaming, music, consumer, creator, and the underlying infrastructure, including all the blockchains that power it.
I love it. So how long have you been an investor, just period?
Really started investing, I think, with crypto in 2017 with the rise of ICOs.
Okay.
With Bitcoin, it was a little bit earlier in 2014, but that was purely Bitcoin. My personal background was from management consulting at McKinsey, and then worked at a variety of tech startups, largest being Airbnb. Smallest was the first employee at a consumer hardware startup that raised the biggest hardware campaign at the time.
That's exciting, man. So what do you look for when you're investing into companies? So I teach a lot of entrepreneurs about attracting investors, but what do you look for? Like some investors look for team, they look for vision, they look for great founders. Like what's your go-to kind of framework in deciding like what type of companies or founders you invest in?
For us, it's definitely team first and foremost. Just because, where we focus, which is really pre-seed or earlier, most founders may pivot 2, 3, 4, 5 times, right? Before kind of finding that product market fit. And that's okay, right? That's just the startup journey.
Right.
And so I think what we're looking for is really founders that either have kind of background experience of, what they're working on, which is always helpful, right? Because then you can leverage experience and pattern recognition. Or kind of what I mentioned on the panel, right? Especially in the current environment, just resilience, right? Being able to kind of just slog it out, right? Having that grit, even when times are tough, to not give up, not go back to like a cushy job in big tech. And then I think it's really, being coachable and having that self-awareness, right? Of being open to feedback, no matter how tough it is and how painful it could be, right? And kind of almost distancing your emotions from it, because at the end of the day, it's all about kind of learning and iterating and course correcting.
I love it. What are some of the most exciting companies you guys had opportunity to invest in?
Yeah, I think for us, it's some of the folks in our fellowship / pre-accelerator. One is Zero Dev.
Okay.
So he came out of our first fellowship, and then went through both Y Combinator and Andreessen's crypto startup school.
Okay.
Gaming companies include Primodium, which is building a fully on-chain games and really kind of pushing the bleeding edge of innovation there, as well as Matchday, which is founded by the co-founders of Spin, who got, they were a ride-sharing company or scooter company that got acquired by Ford. And they're basically building, kind of a Web3 soccer game together with Lionel Messi, who's both one of their big investors as well as a core team member.
Okay. So you guys have already had an exit as a fund?
So with me and my partners, we had previously separately had two funds. So one was a crypto venture fund, and then another was a crypto hedge fund that was acquired by CoinMarketCap.
Okay.
Our venture partner, Spencer Yang, then led CoinMarketCap and led their sale to Binance back in the day.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna ask you this, right? Because we always hear about the highs. Do you have any lows experiences where have you ever invested into a company where you're like, oh man, I shouldn't invest into those guys, and maybe it didn't work out?
Yeah.
Do you have any of those stories, or you feel like you guys have done pretty well as far as some of the companies and founders you've invested in?
Yeah, I think, from the funds, we haven't really had any sort of those experiences.
Okay.
But in terms of personally investing back in 2017, we definitely had some of the experiences, and especially because it was more of the Wild West back then, right? But I think
ICOs.
Yeah, ICOs, right? And I think with some of those, we were able to find resolution and actually get our investment refunded. Right. I think it was one of those situations where, as we did more diligence, just talked to, our friends and other investors in the space, we had some things not pass the stick test.
Right. Got it. I remember, I think it was back in 2016 or 2017. I had a company that was VC funded. So we used to be in San Francisco I remember TechQuest Disrupt. And I didn't know anything about crypto, Web3, anything. And like they had a small booth, like the area was like maybe from here to the end of that. That was the all things blockchain and crypto at TechCrunch Disrupt in 2017, dude. Yeah. And I had no clue what was it. Were you there?
Yeah.
So you remember 27? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Remember it was like a little area.
Yeah.
It wasn't
side thing.
Yeah, a little side thing, and no one else. And I'm looking like, oh, okay, yeah, it's cool. Like, what the heck is this? And I wish I would have known because I would have gotten some really great opportunities. But anyway, man. So let me ask you. So, how do you guys prefer companies to reach out to you? And how should they? Do you look for a deck? Is it the old school? We prefer intro in our network. Like, how should they come to you guys?
Yeah, I would say the best is always a warm intro, right? Because we get so much inbound all the time, and so if it's from a friend or kind of a trusted source, that always helps in terms of catching our attention. I think the other is just being thoughtful in your intro and just spend a couple minutes to do some homework, right? And for example, we focus on pre-seed, so if you're coming us with like a large Series A raise, generally not going to make sense,
right?
And if you come to us with, for example, like a non-Web3 opportunity, we're a Web3 only fund, that's not going to make sense, right? So it's really doing your homework for the investors, and then ideally getting some sort of intro versus just cold reach out. But we definitely check our messages across all the platforms. Best way is probably just via Twitter. Our fund's Twitter handle is at PressStartCap. And then mine is at LukeX. So reaching out either one of those works fine.
So listen, man, last question. Where can they find a cool Press Start merch, man? It's super. I love it, man. Where can they find this, man?
Yeah, we try to keep our merch game up. But this is actually one of our incubated projects.
Okay.
So we're working with some very experienced merch people. And then what we kind of built there is basically like a Web3 Shopify for merch, right? So we handle basically the manufacturing and the global fulfillment, so we can ship anywhere in the world. And it's very easy for any kind of startup or crypto project to spin up. And we set up the payment rails that actually take both crypto and fiat.
So let me ask you, so do you guys with that, is it like a drop ship model?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. Well, do appreciate you taking the time, man. Super excited about this interview, man.
Thank you.
So listen, Press Start Capital, entrepreneurs, you heard it. Don't go to a Web3 investor and talk about anything else other than Web3, okay? All right, guys, thank you for taking the time.